Ladies and gentlemen, we are another week in the books. OTAs just started. People are jumping off the ship like the tight end. And now, Zach Seiler. We will get into all these details when we come back. So sit back, get your drink, have your cigar, and yeah, man, we'll be right back.
New seasons, new gear. Show the world what it means to be a fan in 100% authentic gear. Fanatics. Officially licensed everything.
You know what's crazy? We're headed to Super Bowl 60. So 59 Super Bowls have been played. So do me a favor, if your team won 2 of those Super Bowls in 60 years, hit the like button. So if your team has not won a Super Bowl, you don't have to hit the like button. There, made it easier. What's going on, everybody? Shout out to Michael K. How are you doing? Joe Rist in the building. Miss Relentless. Mudbone. Somebody important. And, of course, Daniel Berry Sports. Happy to see you, bro. How you doing, man? Hope you are well. What's going on, Lee? How you doing? Cosa Nostra. What's going on, man? How you doing? Merry Christmas, Grumpy. And like I said, we are going into Super Bowl 60. So there are 59 Super Bowls have been played. If your team won at least 2 Super Bowls within those 59 years, hit the like button.
Feliz Navidad.
Miss Vince, how you doing? So,
what's up, Miss Vince?
If your team has not won the Super Bowl in those 60 years, I do not require you to hit the like button. So please make sure you're hitting the like button if your team won 2 of those Super Bowls within the 59 years. Thank you. What's going on, D? How you doing?
Pretty good, man. How you doing?
Good. So what do you make of this? Is have you heard any traction? Has this thing got any traction about Zach Seiler wanting out? El Capitan put it in the thread. I want to know if
look, I don't know if he wants out. That's not the case. It's a matter of he wants more money. I mean, can you blame him? The guy took the team friendly deal the first time, right? When we all thought he was going to get, more money, and now it's time for Miami to kind of pay him back a little bit. To be 100% honest, but if the Miami really is about structuring this defense the way that we think they're going to, where that top 4 is, where it's really heavy, that front 4, then they kind of need to do a solid with Zach Seiler, to be 100% honest. And and if you're going to ask me about another player, I have thoughts on that too. So, yeah.
What about the other players? Yeah.
Well, Jonnu Smith, if we're talking about him, because they have the same, I believe they have the same agent, Drew Rosenhaus, right? Yeah. Jonnu Smith, from all indications and what Adam Schefter has reported, and even what what's his name on Pat McAfee's show today, said that Jonnu Smith wants to be here. It's not like he doesn't want to be here. He just wants, more money because, I mean, and to be honest, and I hate to say this, Miss Finns, who's in the chat, it's Mike Gesicki's fault. Mike Gesicki got offered wide receiver, tight end money that's kind of ridiculous because I think he got overpaid. It's like a 3-year, $24 or $25 million deal. Now all the tight ends want money, right? They all want the payday. That's why Pitts, for example, Kyle Pitts is on the trading block as well. Go ahead.
Is it $24 million per season or total of $24 million?
Oh, it's like 24 or 25 million overall, like the whole contract.
That's not that bad if you break it down 3 times.
It's 8. What is it? $8 million a season, something like that. It's something ridiculous,
that's
right?
Not that bad.
That is kind of overpaying, for tight ends. Look what they got the year before. They got what, like $3 million to $4 million a season, and now out of nowhere you're paying them that kind of money. I just think for Mike Gesicki and what he does, it was overpaying.
Wasn't Jonnu Smith making 8 last year?
I don't think so. I think he was making like $4 million. Let me check that. I could be wrong.
I thought he was making a little more than that.
Let's actually look.
What's up, Joe Rist? How are you doing this fine day, man?
Better question is, what country or where in the world is Joe Rist? Like, where in the world is Carmen Sandiego? Well, where in the world is Joe Rist?
I'm back in the States now. But I spent
Oh,
a week
damn, bro.
in
Damn.
South America for a week. I'm hoping to go back soon. I like
Yeah,
it.
so to give you an example, Shake, real quick, and I didn't mean to cut you off, Joe Rist. Jonnu Smith only got his base salary was 3.5. His cap hit was 4.6 mil last season, right? And no, I'm sorry, it was less than that. I apologize. That's what the cap hit is this year for 2025. Last year, he only made cap hit was 2.1 mil. That's all he made. So I understand why he wants the more money, right? And supposedly he wants a
franchise
lot.
record.
I don't know if he wants a lot, if he really wants to stay here, but I think he wants it to be fair too. You know what I mean?
He's coming off a career year.
But you know what? I think here's the thing. He's looking at Jalen Ramsey exiting. So if he does exit, that's going to free up some cap room. So he's like, well, if you guys are freeing up some cap room, let me get a little bit of that. You know what I'm saying?
And see, here's the other part of it, right? So I think people are like crashing out because of what one agent leaked out, right? First of all, we already knew the Steelers were going to start looking for weapons since they traded their number 2 receiver, right? They need some weapons, right?
Mhm.
I would expect that they had conversations with a lot of people. Maybe the Atlanta Falcons, the Saints, a lot of people they've had conversations with. So
Chris Olave, they started,
especially when you're an agent and you're representing your player, you want to somehow drive the number up to be up a little. What you do is you may whisper it out that Miami may consider trading him if they're not going to pay him, right? And what did that do? That got Pittsburgh possibly to talk to them about it. But just because you have discussions doesn't mean that anything's going to materialize and actually end up trading him. Look at Dallas Cowboys. A lot of people know this, but Dallas Cowboys over the past 2 seasons have had conversations with a lot of teams, and none of it, even though they had discussions multiple times, it didn't pan out. Another team to look at, and you look at and shout out to this guy because he actually wins the Super Bowl, right? The GM of the Eagles. If you talk to anybody that's in the know in the NFL, the Eagles call everybody. They call everybody. They ask questions about everybody. But that doesn't mean that they're actually going to make the trade at all, just because they had discussions. So I don't want people to just crash out. Let's wait and see what happens. You know what I mean? Nothing's intimate. We may have a deal on the table, and maybe the agent wants to verify that it's like a fair deal. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That's understandable. And by the way, he has admit there is reports saying that he does want to stay. He didn't, you know what I mean?
Yeah, even Rappaport on Pat McAfee show today said it point blank. He wants to stay in Miami, but the money has to be fair. I mean, the guy just got off a season where he had a career year making only 2.1 million. That's like the league minimum. That's ridiculous. Yeah. And even this season, we're paying him 4.6, which I personally think that's fair, but I do understand why he wants a little bit more. Plus, there's no guaranteed money after this season, so they got to extend him anyway. So just make it fair. I get it. I think they have a way to. I think they'll see who's interested, and I think that I think this is a player that they definitely do re-sign. They just got to figure out what that correct number is, and I think a lot of people are just going 0 to 60 for no reason, to be honest.
I know, and you know what? I think he genuinely likes playing with Tua. This isn't a Batman take, by the way. I think he genuinely does like.
No, I think he likes the direction of the team. And look at it this way: what the Miami Dolphins want to do offensively, Jonnu actually helps that happen. So if you take him out of the equation, you might as well just give up. It's not like you're going to be able to bring in another tight end that can do what Jonnu does for this offense. It's a lot harder than it looks, to be honest. I'm not saying they can't do it. I just, at this point in time, I don't see it. That's what I'm saying.
What if the concern isn't about this year and bringing someone else in, and it's more of a move for the future, getting younger, getting something in exchange for Jonnu that's going to stay around longer?
Maybe I could see that. That might be a thing why they're actually considering it. But look, how do I put it this way? This regardless of what people think and what people understand of the game of football, this is an offensive league. It's about the offense, right? I understand defense wins games from time to time, but it's the offense that put the points on the board and that really drive the win home. And I kind of feel like the Dolphins know that, and they have to do something to change the narrative. And I don't see trading away Jonnu Smith how that helps the narrative at all. Regardless if you get younger, first of all, what team is going to trade a tight end of that caliber to us right now?
I'm not
that can do those things.
Playing a different position.
Different position, right? You're not going to bring in another receiver. I don't see that happening because we have so many of them here. You're not going to bring any more running backs. So offensively, the only position to address is tight end. Now, if you bring in, let's say you traded Jonnu and you got, and somebody put this out in the space, and I'm just saying this is a hypothetical. I'm not saying this is going to happen or this would happen because I don't believe it would. Anyone in their right mind already knows this. Yeah, but let's say you brought in Joey Porter Jr.'s son in, right, from the Steelers to here because we need a corner. That still doesn't win the game for you. The offense is what wins the game. Yeah, you can slow. The only purpose of the defense I see at this point is slowing offense down, right? Yeah. And you still need the offensive production. And Jonnu Smith provides that. He's that extra outlet that we need out of the receiving room. And you know what? He blocks much better than Gesicki ever did. Even though it's not a lot, he does block, more so often and, slightly better. And I just don't see them moving off of him this quickly like that. I think this was a move by Drew Rosenhaus trying to drive the number up. And it was evident that they called the Steelers or not us calling the Steelers, but the Steelers communicating with us because of the fact that they need a weapon bad. So it makes sense. And it's already been reported today that they're reaching out to a lot of teams, not just us.
Yeah. And I agree. I agree with you about putting up points. Unless we have one of those historic defenses, we do need to put points because we don't have those 2002 Buccaneers or 2001, the 2000 Baltimore Ravens or the 85 Bears. We don't have those defenses. So we need to find a way to put points on the board. As a matter of fact, the 2002, I would say 2002, 2003 was probably like the best defense that I've seen the Miami Dolphins in. And because they couldn't put up points, we couldn't do anything. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And, and I'm, I could be wrong. This is just all hype, what I believe based on my opinion. Yeah. I just don't think that Miami is ready to just like up and quit and say, oh, you don't want to sign the contract, so bye. No, I just don't believe that. I don't believe that at all.
What's up, Jamie Raycart, man? Make sure y'all hitting the like button. Appreciate y'all that do. And if you don't, it is what it is. I don't give a shit. Let me say, Lewis, what's going on, mi hermano? How you doing, man? Yes, be like Lewis. Hit the like button. So, all right. Here's one thing I really want to talk about. We all know that one person, that knows how to make an apology, and hey, I'm saying very convincing. And you buy it hook, line, and sinker. Next thing you know, he does what he does. You know what I'm saying? Tyreek Hill talks about he's going to church more, and he lost a bunch of weight. He's back at his Kansas City playing weight. He's showing he has made strides in showing that he is playing better. And the one thing that caught my eye was the fact that he said, "Look, if I'm not team captain, I won't hold against anybody because I put myself in that position not to become team captain." So he's not expected to be team captain. So at least he has some self-awareness in that aspect. But are you buying what he's putting down? Or you think that's just him trying to mouthpiece his way like he's done in the past 3 years since he's been here?
Can I take a crack first, Joe? Do you mind if I go first? So I'm really glad that you brought this up, Shake, because I said it maybe 2 or 3 nights ago in a space that there's a possibility that I could see Tyreek finishing his career here, right? And I know the stuff with his wife and everything that hit the roof really bad. It looked really bad. I get it. But if you look at what he's done since that whole crash out at the very last game, he went and got the surgery done that he should have had done a while ago, right? As he said, he's gotten himself into playing weight shape. He's like under like 196 pounds, something like that, right? And he's saying all the right things for somebody that really wants to either stay here to finish out his contract, or let alone maybe rework his contract to make it team friendly and stay here, right? Or if you can also look at it, even if he's not going to finish his career here, he's doing all the right things to be able to sign a contract somewhere else as well. And I'll tell you this, I see, based on what the Dolphins have said and what players are saying about Tyreek Hill, as well as how the team is speaking to, and we'll talk about the other player, Ramsey. Like when they talk about Ramsey, you can tell they're off of him. They're just waiting for him to walk out the door. He's already 2 feet out the door already, right?
Yeah, they're doing that song, "Walk Out the Door."
Yeah,
You're not welcome anymore.
yeah. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
And even with McDaniel, how he talks about it and everything, like you could tell, like he could give 2 flying fucks about Jalen Ramsey at this point. Excuse my language. I shouldn't have said that.
No. You're good.
Then you look at how they talk about Tyreek Hill. It seems like it's all positive. It's all positive. Now, does that mean that he's after this year he's gone? Possibly. That's what the consensus seems to think. But I don't know, bro. It almost kind of sounds like he's trying to play the line to the point where they could possibly keep him and maybe give him a friendly deal where it works out for both. Because I don't know. I just kind of, I really feel like part of me kind of feels like he wants to stay here. He just wants the team to be more competitive. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of like where I'm at. I think he likes the Miami lifestyle. He's just not happy with how things are turning out. And I get it. Trust me, when things don't turn out for me, I crash out like that sometimes too, to be honest. But it is what it is. At this point, I kind of think he's doing all the right things, so I can't say anything bad about it at this time.
Cap for life, mi hermano, dímelo.
Hey, gentlemen, how are you? TGIF on the
What's
Fins
up,
tailgate.
Cap? How you doing, man?
What's up? Hey, hold on, Joe Riss. Go ahead, Joe Riss. Joe Riss wanted to say something. Go ahead, Joe Riss.
I was just going to add to that. If Tyreek had retired at the end of this season, would he be a Hall of Famer?
Probably not. I think
in my opinion, he's still got some ground to cover to get to his true goal.
I don't know. I think he'll end up being a Hall of Famer. He may be just based on the name alone and what Tyreek Hill is and what he's accomplished so far. I would say that he could be a first ballot, possibly. He already has the Super Bowl under his belt. He has the ring. You know what I mean? I've seen lesser wide receivers be a first ballot Hall of Famer and haven't accomplished as much as he has.
Well, all right. Here's the thing. What's gonna hinder him from being a first ballot is off the field altercations. So if he was to like Joe Riss is alluding to, if he was to accomplish a little bit more, that will solidify. But because of the off the field issues and the things that he's done, the antics he's pulled since being in Miami, that's going to kind of take points away from his Hall of Fame entry, just like they did with T.O. And T.O. did less than he did.
That is true. I guess in that aspect, you might be right.
Michael Irvin?
Yeah. That's a good question, though. That is a great question, Joris.
I think that's his motivation, like from here on out. Not only is there Hall of Fame, but he's also kind of racing Mike Evans on where they land in their careers. They start around, I think, around the same time.
I don't know, man. I just think it's the Tyreek that we saw when he first got to Miami. All of a sudden, he's revamped, he's rejuvenated, he's rebranding himself. And the same point of emphasis that it's being done during the busiest time of negotiations in the NFL football season. I don't know if that's just a coincidence or that's just Drew Rosenhaus working overtime right now with his clients.
Yeah, but here's the point I also want to bring out. Look at Antonio Brown, right? Antonio Brown moved in with Tom Brady. He started doing things the right way, and then next thing you know, here he's taking his jersey off in the middle of a game.
That AB situation was kind of wild during that time.
Mm-hmm. Lewis says not a first ballot, but Reek is a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, I do think he's a Hall of Famer no matter what.
So look, we're looking at Michael Irvin, Hall of Famer. T.O., Hall of Famer. AB, is he a Hall of Famer?
No.
Who else would
there? He might go in there, maybe.
He won't be first ballot, but maybe. I don't think AB is a Hall of Famer, though. That's just me, though.
Yeah.
What about Ocho Cinco?
Yeah, like you said, he's got the ring, so you know what I mean.
Ocho Cinco doesn't have the ring.
Antonio Brown?
That's a good question. Is Ocho Cinco a Hall of Famer? I don't think so. He never did as much as what T.O. did. T.O. that guy really deserved it. That guy would, even today as we're speaking, he's a Hall of Famer, retired, right? Still playing in a semi-pro league, putting up numbers. That's pretty impressive, to be honest. And Lewis said no, he's not. So shout out to Lewis. And yes, Ben Roethlisberger is a Hall of Famer in my opinion.
Yep. But you know what? The same thing they try to nail Kobe with why he shouldn't be Hall of Famer is the same reason they're going to try to nail Ben Roethlisberger. And you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Is Brett Favre a Hall of Famer?
He got because of because of his untimely demise. He got expedited.
Let me ask you this: is Brett Favre a Hall of Famer? Does he have a yellow jacket? Yes or no?
I think he does. Yeah, he has a yellow jacket, I believe.
Okay, yes. Then I can tell you right now that Ben Roethlisberger will get his yellow jacket.
Mm-hmm.
Because as much as you look at it, and I know some people may disagree, I kind of feel what Brett Favre did is just as bad as what the other did. I look at him equally, like just as bad. So that being said, I think he will get it. That's based on that.
Mm-hmm. But I know I think what Roethlisberger is accused of is way worse than what Brett Favre was being accused of.
You might be right. I just look at them equal, like they're along the same lines for me. So I think they're just as bad. So if you're going to be mad at one, you should be mad at the other for similar things. That's just my opinion.
Which incident of Brett Favre are you talking about? The stealing from the poor or the dick pic?
Both. In my opinion, I forgot about stealing from the poor. That's just as bad. But the dick pic, that I think was bad. There's some other things he was accused of that I think is bad, but I don't know. What did Roethlisberger actually do? He went into the girl's bathroom, right?
Yeah, and he had his way with the woman.
Was he charged with rape?
I wasn't trying to say that, but yeah. He
Oh,
was
sorry,
charged,
sorry, I shouldn't have said that.
but then charges were dropped, or he was acquitted. One of the two.
He was acquitted,
or the charges were dropped. Either way.
That's when they went to court. Yeah, remember?
Yeah.
I don't know. Then in that case,
I'm not 100% accurate, but yeah. Either way.
Well, I mean, my point is, we just named a bunch of guys that had trouble past that are considered Hall of Famers. I mean, is it going to be difficult to trade a Hall of Famer?
Yeah. By the way, Brett Favre was inducted in 2016.
I don't know. I guess I have to look more into the Ben Roethlisberger situation. I didn't know he was charged with anything.
And that incident that we're talking about from the welfare was in 2022, so it was post his Hall of Fame induction.
Oh, that's a good point.
So, Cap for Life, what's the word on the street, my man? I know you get a lot of good sources. What are you hearing?
I mean, man, as far as today, everything's just overlapping the June 1st, date. That's it. If the June 1st date comes up, man, all these hypothetical trades either get thrown out the window or something sticks. And for me right now, the hypothetical with Ramsey, with the Cowboys having depth at tight end, I think that narrative might play out where we can get like a 4th or a 5th for Ramsey with the tight end from the Dallas Cowboys. Shout out to the Scotty, man. Scotty brought out that trade a couple of weeks ago, and I think that trade might stick, man.
And you know what's crazy is the fact that I forgot what I got a brain fog there, but either way, man. Yeah, now what I was gonna say is like you said about Mike McDaniel. He refuses to. It's like he refuses to speak his name. You know what I mean? He didn't even mention his name in that press conference.
That's what I'm saying, man. And if you're trying to go to the future and move from the past, and you don't want to talk about a guy who's on the roster, he's pretty much in the past.
Yeah, pretty much. Mudbone.
Unless they're playing a crappy hand of cards right now at the poker table, if that's the case.
So you're saying Ramsey is Voldemort?
I'm saying Ramsey right now, for me, is doing a lot of disservice to a lot of these guys that are jumping ship from different teams when you just get a new contract, not even a year prior. I think the NFL is going to put a stop to that too. The salary cap's going up, and you got guys getting more money, and they're just calling shots wherever they want just because they're not happy and disgruntled. I mean, you just signed a contract. Same thing with Tyreek, man. You just signed a contract.
Yeah.
And if you guys want to stay, you can stay. If you want to go, you can go. But this stuff is not normal anywhere else, man. I'm sorry if people make you think this is normal, but what we're going through is not normal.
We're gonna have
my main man Mudbone. What's going on? Ramsey for Pitts. Hey, listen, I do not oppose that trade.
I oppose it. I oppose it. I really oppose it.
I'm hearing that a lot. I am hearing that a lot.
I'm opposing it right now. I'm telling you right now. Kyle Pitts.
Hey, listen, I'm debunking it, and I am deposing your deposing. So
okay, well, I'm just saying Kyle Pitts is one of the most overhyped players that has never lived up to his hype, right? We look at all the players that we wanted. Hold on. Think about it this way. All the players we wanted in that Waddle draft where you saw Jamar Chase and you saw Waddle go and you saw Kyle Pitts go, right? Yeah. Everybody here that wanted Kyle Pitts, because I was one of them at one point, right? Mm-hmm. Has that man ever lived up to that hype at all in a single season? Right. Not
That's
once.
You're right. We had
Coordinator.
the debate.
Well,
Not once.
We had the debate,
Coordinators
bro.
are overhyped.
Here's the
Bro,
thing.
we had the debate.
Here's the thing. Number one, tight ends are take longer to develop. They don't develop right away. You look at all these players that you rarely see a tight end. Not to mention, they've been through one or two, three coaches since he's been there. They've been to multiple head coaches at the same time. They've been through multiple quarterbacks at the same time. So, look at Tyreek Hill. When he didn't have a stable quarterback, he can even get 1,000 yards.
I'll have to look at his track record with that. I know the first year he may not have had the best year, but year 2, which he was with Alex Smith, it was pretty nice. Let me ask you this though: if you look at
last year, I'm talking about last year.
You're talking about last year. Okay, I see what you mean. But here's the thing, though. He's actually lived up to his hype prior to even coming here. So you can't use that as an actual analogy, to be honest. Because you look at players that, for example, like who he played with prior to playing with Mahomes. He had Alex Smith in company, and it wasn't even Alex Smith, even though some people consider him to be great, it's not like he was a world beater. He was a good but mid quarterback, kind of like the situation we're in right now. In addition to that, you look at what his head coach of the Atlanta Falcons had to say. I think it was his head coach or the coordinator. I can't remember which one. Recently talked about Kyle Pitts and basically alluded that Kyle Pitts needs to keep working if he wants to be effective this year, as if like there's a lot of work still to do to get him up to speed. I don't want a player like that I'm going to have to worry about developing all over again. You know what I mean? I don't want that. That's why I'm saying no.
And think about this. Jonnu Smith, his best year was last year, and he's been in the league he's been in the league with the Patriots. He's been in the league with multiple teams, and last year was his best year.
Not even that. He was on the same team with Atlanta that had Kyle Pitts. Both of them were on the same roster, and Kyle Pitts got outdone by Jonnu. So to get rid of Jonnu for Kyle Pitts when Jonnu did better than Kyle Pitts when they're on the same team, I don't know.
Yeah,
man.
thank you, Captain Life. I was about to say that. Correct.
Jonnu Smith had more years under his belt than Kyle Pitts at the time.
Yeah, but coincidentally enough, the guy that's the OC with the Steelers is the same guy who coached both of those guys in Atlanta when he was the head coach. Now he wants Jonnu over Freiermuth, and Freiermuth was pretty good.
Here's the other thing, though. Jonnu Smith, wherever he's gone, has always been he may not be like the top end best player on the team, but he's always been a really good target. He was good in Tennessee. He was good as a Patriot, and now he comes down here to Atlanta, which he, obviously was a lot better than Kyle Pitts, and then comes down here to Miami, and he's really good here. So I understand that he had his best year here, but that doesn't mean that he didn't have he wasn't a good target or good players elsewhere.
Well, put it this way: if Bill Belichick, who loves tight ends, didn't stick with him, that tells you something. He loves tight ends. You know what I'm saying? So
that is true. They had, who did they have? Jonnu Smith and Hunter Henry at one point.
Yep.
So you are kind of right.
Bill, but you have to remember, Bill, when he was going out the door, didn't really have say with what was going on with personnel anymore. They were getting ready to get rid of him. Like, he didn't have say that much. And Jonnu was like 1 year here, 1 year there, which because of his age. But his production, man, he gave you 7 touchdowns in November and December last year. Nobody in the offense did that.
I like this one. Jonnu Smith has never been on a team with Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle.
Well, I mean, I get that, but like technically he outdid
also
both.
never been targeted like he has. With how much of this was just Tua having a dump off guy and throwing to him. When it was, there was basically the easy option. If you look at his targets compared to his last several years, it's out of control.
There you go. Smith has only broken 500 yards twice in 8 seasons.
I'm just saying he did better than your rookie tight end, Mike K.
The rookie tight end, of course, the rookie tight end. Like I said, Name one tight end
Yeah, but
that came
he's
in
in
the
his
league.
third year now.
Listen, name one tight end that came in the league. Name one tight end that came in the league and lit it up. Tight end is a hard position. No, because
Brock Bowers.
The guy from the Raiders last year.
Yeah, Brock Bowers.
Brock Bowers.
Yep.
Okay,
He also had 8 touchdowns with his season with the Titans, 8 touchdowns with us. You know what I mean?
I didn't even know he had that with the Titans.
Yeah. So I mean, and they had nobody at QB at that point. So I mean, I'm just saying, like, yeah, I understand. I know people here like Jonnu Smith, and they think he had his best season here and everything. But let's not hype him up like he's a world beater, all-star.
All I'm saying is we're hyping up Waddle.
Okay.
We're hyping up Waddle now more than ever, and this guy's getting traded. All I'm saying is Waddle better perform as a number 2.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
I just don't see them. I just don't see us moving off of Jonnu Smith, to be honest. I just don't see it.
Yeah.
Maybe, but I don't think it's going to be for Kyle Pitts. I personally wouldn't want Pitts here, to be honest. I think that would be waste of
I'm telling
whatever.
you, man.
Hey, man,
Dallas
I'm just giving my opinion. I would bring him home.
Here's the other reason too, not to shake. Kyle Pitts is on his 5th year option, I believe. So that means as soon as we trade for him, we're gonna have to actually pay the guy.
Exactly.
And I ain't paying a guy that has not 1 year been able to perform near his potential. I will not pay a guy like that.
Yeah, he's coming in the same year as Waddle, right? They're in the same draft class, right? Him
Same
and Waddle,
draft
right?
class, exactly.
Yeah.
This is 5th year option.
Yeah, that's saying something if they picked up this 5th year option. If he was trash, they want to pick up his 5th year. What's going on, Tony? How you doing, bro?
Jonnu Smith's yards per catch was actually his 3rd lowest in his career this year, it was 10 yards per catch, which is actually kind of low.
Yeah, but remember, his production base was always after week 8. That's when they started throwing him the ball. That's when everybody started getting hurt.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I think that's what contributed to his lower yards per catch, because even there were a few games in there where it was just really a high volume of catches, not like a ton of yards behind it. It was a lot of first downs.
Oh,
basically.
snap. I just remembered why Shake is pushing so much for Kyle Pitts. He went to Florida. That explains everything.
Gators
That's not
this explains a lot.
Yes, you got me.
Here's the other reason why.
Remember Kadarius Toney?
Kadarius.
I don't want Kadarius Toney nowhere near this locker room.
No, thank you. Here's
for the minimum. I don't want Kadarius Toney.
The other reason
Toney has all of AB's mental illness with none of his talent.
So here's another reason why I don't think this Kyle Pitts trade makes sense. Right, the cap hit on Jonnu Smith right now is what, 4.6 or 4.2 million, something like that, right? That's the cap hit as of right now. Why would you trade 4.2 million for a $10.8 million deal? That doesn't make sense, man. That's like more than twice the amount.
Showmaker with the Cowboys. I'm telling you, that price range around there with a draft pick, that's something they're going to do, probably. You got to get somebody. You just can't get a future pick or a compensatory pick, which they're loving to do now. If they're getting a compensatory pick for Jonnu and he leaves, and that's what you're waiting and banking on, and you're not getting nothing now, then you know what the hell's going on.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Shake. I just can't get behind it. That's all.
Hey, listen, you don't have to. Hey, listen, there's players that you say, hey, I'm like, no, thank you. So at the end of the day, what we say is just opinion based. So
I get you.
Say my opinion, and if you don't like my opinion, oh well.
To be fair, though, to Kyle Pitts, it is a possibility what you were saying. If he comes to a new team, new quarterback, and all that, it could work out for him. You're right. I just kind of, if I'm trading for somebody, especially if I'm going to take on a bigger contract, you got to show me that you could possibly meet that potential at some point. And he hasn't done that, and that's the only reason why I'm hesitant.
Well,
go ahead.
The reason I like Kyle Pitts for 2 reasons. Number one, he's a good blocker, which when he's out there, you're not really telegraphing what you're doing. Like when you put Gesicki and Durham Smythe, he is a good blocker. And number two, he could play the perimeter. I've seen him play the perimeter and the slot. So, and he's a big body. He's 6'6". He's a big body, and he's got a huge wingspan. So, but again, if it doesn't happen, I'm not gonna sit here and pout like, oh man, we don't have. It is what it is. That's what I would like, and it's not because he's a Gator. I mean, it's a bonus. Don't get me wrong, but it's not the driving force. I don't care if you played for Florida. If I don't like, there's players that play for Florida, like that right tackle, that left tackle that the Chiefs have, right tackle, left tackle they got from Florida. I don't want him on here because he's proven he can't play good. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, I see your point. I see it.
But that's just my take on it.
Let me ask you guys this.
You don't have to,
Can anybody check or do a fact check for me to find out what's the max capacity of compensatory picks this team can get in one season? Or is it to next season? Like, what's the max? Because as of right now,
there's probably like maxes at each round or something.
Yeah, but are we allowed to give up players now? Like, we got one for Campbell. Like, if we get one for Cheetah, if we get rid of him, or do we get one if we get rid of Chubb? Or
all right, so there is a limit. I didn't know about this, but it says a team can receive a maximum of 4 compensatory draft picks in a single year. These picks are awarded to teams that lose more or better free agents than they sign. So they can get no more than 4 a year.
Hey, Rafael, mi canal. What's up, canal? How you doing, brother?
I don't fully understand how the comp picks work.
Rafael Courtwright is another guy who wants Kyle Pitts on this team, right, Rafael?
So it basically from what I understand, if you lost a lot of free agents or you lost really good free agents that signed big time deals, then that's basically how they're looking at it. Depends on the deal that they signed as well as how much they've played in the season.
So are we hoping
from the league?
So in essence, are we hoping that if we get rid of these guys, we get rid of them for less so we can get a better comp pick?
No, we hope that we get rid of them for more, which basically means like if we have a free agent leaves, we hope to God he signs the biggest contract he can.
Yeah.
Like that's why we got picks. That's why we got picks from Wilkins and Rob Hunt, because those guys signed max deals. You know what I mean?
And Calais, what was his comp pick? Calais we got a 3rd round pick for Calais?
I doubt it.
Yeah, because of the amount of time he played or something to that effect.
Is that the highest comp pick? Is that end of 3rd round?
I think so.
No, 4th round. You can have the highest comp picks. No, you might be right. I think it is 3rd round. I think you're right.
Basically, pick like 95 or something, or 90.
Yeah, that's the highest you can have, I believe.
Michael K, why do you want to know what city I visit? You want to come visit me?
Jake, I gotta
wants to know what city I live in.
So I just checked it, the most recent year that they announced the comp picks for this year back in March. Yeah, 3rd round is the highest. So you are right.
Yeah, it's like player like number 100.
Oh man.
So we're looking at Ramsey, Cheetah, and Jonnu for potential of max 4 capacity of compensatory picks, if that's the way they want to go. Or
I'm not that
contracts
far from
for now.
Tampa, by the way, Michael K. I'm not that far off.
Tell you what, if we move on from Ramsey and Jonnu and there's no splash whatsoever for someone we pull in, then you can guarantee Greer's got his job for the following year, because he's
Chubb or
moving.
JP, maybe Chubb or JP.
I wouldn't be heartbroken if we moved on from Phillips, because I just feel like he's just got the injury bug.
So those are the trade candidates. Those 5 guys.
And edge rushers, there's like 30 great edge rushers every draft. So I don't get too worked up about the ones we have.
Cosa. Yes, I do. I live in Dubai. Yes, I do. And it's a 1984 Lambo, but it's still good.
You got the Magnum PI Ferrari.
No, Lambo.
We're gonna start having games in Dubai at some point.
Oh yeah.
It's only
It
a
was the
matter
one
of
that Don Johnson.
When that happens, Joe Rist, I'm getting my passport and going to the game, bro. My family that lives near there go to Dubai like every other weekend, like it's the Bahamas or something. It's
I don't know
that
if
cheap for
anybody
them to go.
They added the UAE in for several markets this year for several teams.
Bro, they put
All I
together.
know. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I think if not them, the Saudis, man, or one or the other, they put together the biggest fight ever assembled in the past a couple decades now with Canelo, man. Like, they got money to play with, man. They're going to get into the
Yeah,
sports
the
game. They got into
Saudis.
the PGA. They
Yeah.
got the live now.
So what Saudi Arabia is trying to do, they're basically kind of giving up on the oil business because they've made so much money that they have more money than they know what to do with. What they're really trying to push forward is an entertainment industry. They're trying to create Riyadh as like being the next Vegas, just like what Dubai is doing, to be honest, because they're both almost the same, to be fair.
Yeah. Their revenue. Oof, man.
Yep. It's ridiculous.
Oh man.
As far as the international division that they're trying to assemble, that would be what, the UK. Who else? Probably Brazil.
What do you mean for the international markets?
Yeah, they're trying to do like a 4-team international division, but then they would have to do 8 because both conferences. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Or that would be 2
personally,
teams, you know.
what I think would work out, it would be Mexico, Brazil, Canada, and maybe Australia. Maybe I don't know who the 4th team in that division would be. And then you would go to Europe, and you could create a 4-team division because you would split up Europe in 4 ways. That's essentially what it would be.
I think we're likely to get, if they added like 2 divisions in, there's probably be one Europe and one South America.
Yeah, in Canada, because I really feel Canada is at the cusp of having a team finally. There's just too many fans in Canada to not to.
There's the markets that we have, I think, are all like Spanish. We have Spain, Argentina, Colombia, Mexico. Brazil is in there, even though they're not Spanish, but considered Latin America.
Mexico City and maybe Toronto.
Well, the Bills will just move to Toronto.
Yeah,
they could just move the Bills.
Brazil just makes so much sense to have a team because the fact that they have so many stadiums there that are just sitting after their World Cup they had.
They're going to upgrade.
Say that again.
Joe Riss is talking about they're going to upgrade Buffalo Bills.
Yeah, just move across the border.
They say to upgrade.
No. I think they finally get. I think Toronto gets their own team.
The trash smell would disappear immediately.
Not a lot of people know this, but I want to say the longest road in the world is in Toronto.
Well, yeah, you know, baseball had Montreal and who else? The Toronto. Then basketball had the Raptors and Memphis. I mean, not Memphis, but they were what?
Vancouver.
I think they were 2 teams. Vancouver. I mean, sooner or later, it's gonna hit. You know?
Yeah.
Basically a CFL team at this point.
Yeah.
Go that long in the league without a Super Bowl, you might as well get regulated to the CFL.
Yeah. What, Cam Wake came from the CFL, and the CFL has what, 110 yards?
Yeah, them in Minnesota. Them in Minnesota will be regulated to the CFL.
Ass team.
Actually, you know, speaking of what they call it, international teams, I think once they finally do create that international divisions, I do think that is how the Saudis will finally buy into the NFL. Not just the Saudis, but you know, people like the Saudis or the UAE and whatnot. Because the you know, I don't know if you guys know this, but the top 5 franchises, sports franchises in the world outside of the National Football League, which is mostly soccer, right, are owned by the Saudis. They own Paris Saint-Germain, for example. They own Newcastle. They own Manchester United. You know, some of the like most famous soccer teams in the world are being bought up by these countries, which feeds into that whole entertainment system that I was talking about. So I kind of see if there's a team in Europe that they're creating, I could see the Saudis coming in with the money. To be honest, I could definitely see that happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's a Dublin. Is this year have the Dublin game, or is that next year?
No, this year in Ireland.
Yeah.
I actually almost thought about trying to get tickets to go to that, but I just can't afford it at this time. I got too many other things going on.
So they're doing the college football games there. Now they're doing NFL games there. I think that'll quickly become a regular location for international games.
Man, they were talking about Ireland or Scotland or wherever that area is. Though I'm not really a globalist
Ireland.
when it comes to that area. Ireland, yeah, they're saying they're number 1 in education in the world.
Did you say not really a globalist?
Well, here's the thing though about NFL though. I think if you're gonna do international, you gotta do like I think you should do like basketball. Have their own international league, because can you imagine if a team was in London, all the eight games that the teams that got to travel back and forth, what hassle that would be, and then you know
I'd love a farm system in Europe.
Yeah, I think that's what they should do.
It used to be what? It used to be the World League back in the day, and it didn't really last long. But then the AFL, what was it, they got now?
Yeah, that span, that was like 2006.
So you're already failed. Yep, I guess.
Speaking of which, you are right. Cap for Life, Ireland is ranked really, really high when it comes to education. In fact, I want to say that according to the thing I'm looking at, they're like number 6 in the world or something like that. One thing I found out, because I was actually looking, a buddy of mine was looking to move to Ireland. Just to move there to be an immigrant, you have to make like a certain amount of money per year before you can move there. You can't just move there, you know, on a dime. You know what I mean? After you go through the whole immigration process or whatever, the amount of money that you make in a year is a factor if they're going to allow it or not.
Yeah.
I believe Ireland's also got one of those tax havens as well.
Yeah, I think you're right.
What do you guys think about the Panthers getting into the World Cup? I mean, to the Stanley Cup.
Stanley Cup? Hell yeah, man.
I saw
what I was hearing yesterday?
There's been a Florida team in the Stanley Cup for like 6 years.
There you go, Cody. Appreciate you.
Bro, what do you say? Shake, right about pitch. He is good blocker and can what?
Line up all over the field. But I don't think they just re-signed Kittle, so I don't think they're going to be able to do that. As a matter of fact, they gave Kittle his contract before they gave Brock Purdy his.
And that's a good point. Nowadays, tight ends have to meet that max criteria now. Kittle is the standard with that contract, just like the running backs the prior years before and the wide receivers last year.
Mm-hmm. Well, trust me, I would love to be because you know Kittle has an affection for Mike McDaniel, so you know he would love to play for Mike McDaniel, but at the same time, he just got that new deal.
So, in essence, from what you guys are seeing, are we trying to upgrade that position because we know that's key, or are we just like we said, we're gonna go 1-2. We'll fill in 3 later.
Yeah, and you know what? To be honest with you, I don't think John Smith gaining all those yards if was by design. I think they had no choice but to give him those passing yards because the quarterbacks that were in. You know what I mean?
I'm curious now to see how the tight end position is going to be utilized now, if they're going to make this move.
The cat for life has a cat or something there.
That's my steering wheel, man. This car alignment, I'll place the phone on top of the steering wheel and start to freaking vibrate. Yeah, man. I heard something about if the Panthers end up getting the cup, we won't be allowed to take the cup to the beach again, bro. I say to that, I say not, sir.
Actually, Michael K, you're not lying. I do got some catnip here.
I haven't seen you fight with your cat in a while, bro. It's been like a minute since I've seen you.
I don't do that often. I don't do that. I don't use the catnip. If like the cats are getting too rambunctious, I'll put out some catnip to calm their asses down.
Bro, what's inside catnip, bro? They go crazy for that, bro.
It calms them down, though.
They look at that thing and they calm down, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the last 5 Stanley Cups have had a Florida hockey team in it.
That's what I'm saying, bro. Look, Brady took the Super Bowl to the beach, freaking tossed the trophy around like a rag doll, man. It was, you know what I'm saying? We took the cup. We took care of it. We chilled with it. We drank beer from it.
Actually, now it'll be the 6th one in a row with Florida team.
Mm-hmm.
Last year was the Panthers. The year before was the Knights, right?
Yeah.
And then before that was I think Tampa was in it.
Yeah, Tampa. They went back to back. They won 3.
No. It was the Avalanche one.
Okay.
Over Tampa. They won 2 in a row.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so 2020, 21, 22, 23, 24, and now 25. Hockey belongs in Florida. It's got to be doing wonders for the high school level. I bet there's so many hockey teams now in Florida schools.
Oh, man. Cat for Life dropped out. It's
Where's the gang tonight? It's just you and Ali.
Yeah, everybody's I don't know where crypto's at. They're whatchamacallit, they're doing their thing now. Lewis and those guys.
Yeah.
I don't know where El Cap is. El Cap is, somewhere around here. So I figure I just hop on, like I always do on Fridays, just have myself a drink, a cigar, and just, vibe out. You know what I mean? Have you had any of that wine?
Yeah, I brought back 4 bottles from Chile, and I drank 2 of them so far.
Goddamn, were they good?
Yeah, one I've got saved for you. The other one it was actually a 2016 from a farm. It's a Carbonara. Super like peppery taste to it too. Yeah, they've all been good.
One thing about Chile is they never got the phylloxera, so all their wines are in their original rootstocks.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy seeing some of the wineries there, man. I got fucked up too. One of the days I think I had 16 glasses of wine going to all those different places.
What's funny is Chile technically is a lot of their wines are considered organic, are organic, but because they don't want to go through all that red tape, they don't bother with it. But they are the wine practices and things they do they would be considered organic.
You know, everyone kept telling me like the Chileans, they actually prefer to drink beer than drink wine, which is funny because they have such good, like, famous wines. Yeah, I'm pounding through them right now. I'm drinking Rioja though.
Rioja, I love some Rioja. Yeah.
Montechillo.
Good shit.
Yeah, powering through it.
That's like one of their best regions.
What, Montechillo?
No, Rioja. Rioja is the region.
Yeah.
Montechillo is the grape.
Yeah, this one says Grand Reserva 2015.
Yeah, so it has to be aged. I think 4 years. There's a minimum aging. There's requirement for that. So Grand Reserva is the best of the best.
I couldn't believe the prices on wine bottles in Spain. It was cheaper to buy wine than water.
Damn, really?
Yeah. You go to like a grocery store and they've got like €3 for a wine bottle, and then you look next to it. There's like the large like liter of water for like the €3 and some change.
Damn.
I'm sure it's not like that everywhere, but if you go to the game, it's going to be a good time. Let's put it that way.
And what games are you going to again?
I'm actually debating that right now. I'm trying to, because I was saying I'm going to go to the Atlanta game in Atlanta. I think I'm still going to do it, but I'm kind of getting depressed if we're shipping out all these players. I don't know if it's worth going to away games, but for the home games, I'm going to go to the Tampa game for sure, because my whole family's Bucks fans, so I'll probably bring them and whatever fan weekend is.
Chargers is a fan weekend.
Yeah, I did. Chargers. Wow. Okay. Yeah, I did the one of the AFC East roundtable get-togethers last year, Jets game, and that was actually really fun because they rented out like a bar area, and I like having my elbow room instead of cramming into seats. I was hoping to do another one of those.
Did you meet Dan Mitchell? And
Dan didn't go. I met the other three though. TD was a lot taller than I thought. I think he's
like what, 6'4", 6'5"?
Yeah, his camera doesn't do him justice. He looks kind of short in his camera, but
yeah, he's definitely taller. And not meeting Dan Mitchell, you didn't.
Wrong too. He's 6'5". He's like taller than, I think, as tall as Papa.
Yeah, the other two guys were real small.
Don't worry, Joe. You didn't miss out on anything not meeting Dan Mitchell. You met the important ones, if you really want to look at it that way. But anyway, I was looking at what you said regarding wine versus bottled water, where wine is cheaper.
Yeah.
I wonder if that has to do with some of the restrictions that they have on wine in Europe. Not wine, I'm sorry, on water in Europe, and the operating costs that they have to go through to accommodate that. I wonder if that's what that has to do with.
Possibly. Like, I don't know if it's officially cheaper. I was maybe exaggerating there, but it's about like wine is so cheap there and water is expensive there that it probably is that case at a lot of stores.
Well, you're not the first person I've heard say that, where they say bottled water is more expensive than wine.
Right.
I just wonder.
Tourists buy bottles of water like crazy.
Yeah, you can't find any Grand Reserva here for any less than maybe $25. The cheapest one is maybe $25, $26. The cheapest you will find as far as Grand Reserva.
Yeah, decent
Morgan
wine
David
is the
wine.
cheapest.
Hell yeah.
Is about that, yeah.
By the way, Morgan David, they do 2020. It's Morgan David. Everybody says Mad Dog 2020. It's Morgan David 2020.
MD.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never been to Napa, but I've been to like multiple wine regions outside the country.
Yeah, I want to go to Chateau Saint Michel when I go to Washington.
Have either of you been to Sicily before?
No.
I've never been to Italy, believe it or not.
Oh, I went to Sicily, bro, right on the Mediterranean. It was so beautiful. Oh my God, it was unbelievable.
I was actually signed up to go there this past summer, but I had to switch to Greece. I'm glad I did. Sicily is still on the list.
I want to go back there sometime, bro. I'm not gonna lie. I want to go to Greece too. I've never been there.
The food was insane in Greece. I couldn't stop eating.
Greece?
That's
Oh, hell
awesome.
yeah.
Yeah, I built up such a ridiculous appetite and just style of eating that I went to Hungary and Austria and the Czech Republic after, and I was eating like schnitzel and like super fattening things, and I gained so much weight because I went from like eating in Greece where everything was like fresh and healthy and kind of light. Oh man, I came back, I was like 230 pounds.
Holy shit.
Damn,
Yeah.
dude.
But hey,
I'm
man,
down
listen.
to 215 now, but it put some damage on me for like 6 months.
I'm 230 right now. I need to lose weight.
And me too. But yeah, Greek, believe it or not, had wine before the Romans. And unfortunately, you don't see too many Greek wines here in the U.S.
Right. Well, their land is all like scorched. Greece, like they can't really grow much there at all, except for olives.
Joris, you need Raphael Corright says, do you need a 47-year-old stepson? No.
Oh man, I do get around. I've been having a good time the last 2 years with traveling. A real good time.
Yeah, man.
Tell you what, my Tinder went crazy in South America and Chile. That was probably the best part.
Yeah.
Hey, you guys are there.
Did you do like Chris Tucker and Rush Hour? You want to come to America?
That's why I tell people all the time. I got that language barrier, Riz.
That's funny.
It's you know what though, on this last trip to Chile, actually the weirdest thing on my last day there, I ran into a Dolphins employee.
Oh, really? That's weird.
Yeah, she's the one that does the photographs them all like walking in their outfits.
That's cool.
Yeah.
What was she doing there? Just visiting?
Same thing as me, just chilling, visiting Chile and Peru. Living life. I was trying to pry about the uniform. I figured she, of all people, would have information on the uniforms, and she wouldn't tell me.
What sports are popular in Chile?
Soccer. That's all that's popular in South America, to be honest.
Probably like polo or something, like water polo or something. Tennis. But
Is it
I saw a soccer game there. It was awesome.
Yeah, I was gonna say tennis, probably soccer.
What about baseball?
I want to say baseball is more popular in the more like the northern South American countries than it is in the southern.
Yeah, because I know Colombia plays baseball.
There's a lot of winter sports in Chile as well, because there's so many mountains there. Snowboarders, cross country. The soccer game was wild, though. They were setting off flares and fireworks in the stands during the game.
Yep, that's how it is every time I go down there to watch a game.
Naomi
or even
says,
in Europe, they're like
Argentina
that.
plays baseball.
Wow, interesting enough, you were right. Tennis and basketball are the other popular sports in Chile. That's interesting.
God damn. Speaking of which, you heard there's only gonna be like, I think how many seven? There's gonna be only 7 teams. There's gonna be a limited amount of teams that's gonna be playing flag football for the Olympics.
There's a what?
There's gonna be a small, limited amount of teams that are gonna be playing for the Olympics.
Oh yeah, because they're
Flag
just
football.
trialing it.
You obviously know
What do
the
you
guys.
think those countries are going to be? UK, Germany,
Mm-hmm.
Austria, maybe even Norway. I think some of the Nordic countries actually have some intramural leagues. Dutch.
Wow, I didn't know this. It's only 6 teams. That's
Yeah,
it.
six teams. Yeah, that would be messed up if the U.S. doesn't qualify.
Oh, we'll be one of the teams with like a bye week or whatever.
So the teams, I think they have okay. So essentially in the 2024 IFAF Flag Football World Championships, the top 6 finishers in the men's competition were the US, Austria, Switzerland, Mexico, France, and Italy. So I wonder if they're the ones that get in.
Oh shit! Look who's back here. Look who's in the back lurking.
Yeah, boy.
What's up, El Cap?
What's
What's
going
So
on?
look
Jeff?
who it is.
What's up, Ali?
What's up, man?
So, not a man. Y'all been tracking this Diggs stuff?
Yeah, with his which part with the
Pink powder?
Not
Yeah.
just the pink powder, but like, I mean, look, when they brought them to the team, I was like, damn, dude, and I like Vrabel, right? Like, I'm kind of jelly. I would like Vrabel as a coach. I think he's going to be a good coach. I thought he was good with Tennessee, and I thought it kind of ran its course. That's why they let him go. And we know Tennessee had some turnover. But anyhow, when Vrabel signed Diggs, I was like, damn. Like he had to okay that, right? He had to go ahead and say the okay. And I was like, dang, he's gonna bring Diggs there. Well, I mean, with the boat and the pink powder stuff and things like that, I guess there's other issues too. There was the guy from NBC Boston. I don't know what the hell his name is. Zach Scott Zolak. He was on Pat McAfee, I think. And listen to what he had to say about what's going on with that. Let me maneuver this. Just listen in.
Receivers away from boats and marinas. It's just
Well, I mean, yeah, you know what, Joe? You're right. These receivers need to stay the hell away from boats. Quarterbacks, they can do it.
Yeah.
Receivers, not so much, man. They got to stay away from the water. I don't know what's going on. But listen to what this dude from NBC South Boston said.
Do you think Diggs should be cut?
Do I think he should be cut?
Yeah, you.
No, I don't.
I do not.
I came to the show yesterday with the not opinion, but the knowledge of that it is on the table. That it is.
Real quick, he said on the table to be cut. Much less like, oh, well, according to what this guy said, he's hearing sources in the building that this is something.
He's trying to throw you off the scent.
Off the scent? Off the scent of what?
Of the breakout season that he's about to have, the 2,000 yards.
Okay, maybe, but listen in. Let's continue.
With the not opinion, but the knowledge of that it is on the table. That it is being thought of. And it's not just the boat. It's not just the boat. There's some other things that I've heard. That's all.
Other things.
He's not going to
has
expand on
heard.
that.
Huh?
He doesn't expand on the other things.
Well, he does say this.
That puts some things in question.
Listen to what he says.
Are you all in?
Are you all in?
Are you all in here?
Do you think Diggs should?
Are you all in? Diggs might be kind of checked out from playing in the NFL. He might, be like, hey, I'm fucking, ain't he banging Nicki Minaj now?
Tell you what, if Vrabel makes an example of him, that's a huge change in culture that they probably would welcome.
Well, that's the other thing, Joe, and I'm glad you said that because that's kind of, first of all, we've seen the Dolphins do that with Joe Philbin when they cut Chad Johnson. Now, granted, Chad Johnson did punch his ex-wife in the face or something like that, and that kind of sparked it. But
yeah, 'cause she found condoms in his wallet or something like that.
Yeah, she fucking freaked out. But at the same time, this is something we've seen happen before. They bring in a veteran. He's kind of wiling out, and they use it to make an example to kind of shock the locker room. I wonder, is Vrabel and I mean, we got plenty of our own problems here in Miami, but Patriots have problems, apparently. Maybe there's some, not just, Cardi B, my fault. That's right. Cardi B, he's banging, not Nicki Minaj. Same shit. Maybe they're having a little bit of a hard time with people buying in. They've been kind of a little accustomed to some losing around there, and that kind of stuff's hard to get out of the locker room.
Yeah.
You're not turning over the entire locker room, and I think the Dolphins are going through some of this too. Maybe not so much losing, but complacency they're definitely dealing with, right? Complacency is a big problem because these guys don't know what it is to buy in for not just winning football, but seeing the job through. And I mean, look, if it's true what this guy's saying, that it's not just the boat and that thing, because honestly, if it wasn't narcotics that Diggs handed these girls, which seems to be speculated on, if it wasn't that and it was just whatever, I don't fucking know. Him being on a boat, what was he supposed to be at camp when he was on the boat? I wasn't clear on that. Somebody said that he was supposed to be at camp, and then he was posting that video and he's on a boat. I don't know if that's true or not, but I do know
There's
that
no such sex in a champagne room.
Yep.
I beg to differ. They charge a lot of money, but you definitely fucking in the champagne room, Crypto. I don't know what champagne rooms you'd be not, but
The pink
just the
stuff
preview.
is,
if I'm spending $1,500 getting that champagne room, I'm getting it. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, Joe.
I was going to say that pink powder is it's most likely like MDMA and ketamine mix.
Hell yeah, fuck yeah. Or I was thinking it could have been that some of that good old fashioned Peruvian pink. That shit's fucking like mythical. So you know what I'm saying? It's like a mythical thing.
He just had a bag of Hawaiian salt on him.
Yeah, that's what it was. It was just fucking. I like this on my steak.
Yeah, that was for good
in
vibes, good ions or whatever it is.
Yeah, it's got the minerals and the ions and stuff like that. I need that.
It's just chopped up.
Yeah, look,
keep the spirits away.
Know me, Sunrider's like, nah, it's pink Himalayan salt, right? Yeah. So,
oh yeah,
delusional Patriots fan says it was fun dip. Well,
it's definitely a fun dip.
Oh yeah,
fun dip is awesome. I mean, what other pink powdery substance could it have been that he was handing to
high
chicks
grade
on his
Himalayan
yacht?
salt? That's what you go high grade Himalayan salt.
Yeah,
people are going crazy with ketamine these days. It was definitely ketamine and like Molly.
Molly's pink now, huh?
Well, when they in the Tusi, yeah. Probably put something in it, make it pink and more fun.
Yeah, it's kind of a what you would call it,
by the way,
a brand.
It's
brand.
Yeah.
So check us out. You know how we try to be all inclusive here.
Sure.
With the Fins tailgate, you know what I'm saying? We got some Bills fans, you know. So I come up since there's nothing in their trophy case. I felt in goodwill I would you know,
something from the heart shake.
Yeah, from the heart. I got their own trophy right here.
Aw, the Bills and the shitter. What a friggin' trophy! A perfect pair.
Yes,
the Buffalo Shitters.
There you go.
You know what? You know what you need though. You know what you need. You need to get a little bed, like a little Barbie bed, to stick in it because they shit the bed.
It's an internal. That's an eternal trophy, Jake.
I think
The trophy will last for all time.
I think you need to make sure you send that and a bottle of beer to Michael K.
Bud Light.
Well, I want him to be able to see the trophy that he'll have forever in existence. So I want to make sure.
Speaking of Michael K, he said maybe Heisenberg came around. Well, it was blue, but maybe it's Heisenberg. You know what I'm saying? We in different times. We in different times. Could be Heisenberg. You know, so we live in some new times, boys.
No,
so
man.
maybe that's what it is. But yeah,
Is it a lot of castles over there?
I don't know. All I know is it's definitely most likely a narcotic.
I don't know. It could be. You know who else is on that boat with him? Cardi B was there too.
Well, he's dating her.
Well, I know he's dating her, but
where you
like
been?
the way people were making it out, like, oh, he was on there with a bunch of models. I'm like, I'm pretty sure Cardi B was there as well. You know?
Yeah, no, she's there, but like,
they were real close to each other, though, hands on each other and everything. Big thing was he was flirting with them and like on the same boat as her.
Joe,
yeah,
let's call it for what it is. Cardi B's there, but I mean, if Stefon Diggs is half the man I think he is,
their relationship is pure love.
Yeah, they're purely loving everybody on that shit right now. Like, I mean, like, let's call it for what it is. I was never a in my 20s millionaire, but I promise you, if I was a rich fucking athlete, you'd be catching me with a bag of fucking hot chicks on a boat too, and I'd be like, well, what do you want from me, boys? You know what I'm saying?
There was a time where we expected nothing less of wide receiver ones.
It's true, and now we judge them on so. But then again, you could do almost anything you want as long as you take care of what you need to take care of. And Diggs kind of hasn't been the Diggs since that year before his last in Buffalo, when he really started popping off at the mouth saying Josh Allen, he made Josh Allen and all this other crazy nonsense, right? So really he's I mean, look, he's dating Cardi B today. He's at the job as a Patriots. Cardi B gonna be on to the next motherfucker. I promise you that.
Yeah.
Shit, you think it's not for long league? It's not for long Cardi B's motherfucking boyfriend if you ain't got no goddamn job, homie. I'm just saying what it is. It's just like she's cool with it now, bro. But
yeah, because she making money too. You know what I'm saying? She needs a dude with money too. You know what I'm saying?
Hell yeah, Shake. I mean, what are we talking here? She ain't trying to run around. She ain't trying to take care of a motherfucker. She's trying to get taken care of. And that pink shit helps.
Yeah, expensive lifestyle.
Yeah. Speaking of losing their jobs, I don't know if you guys heard Tyreek. Clips have been coming out left and motherfucking right from Tyreek Hill on I don't know, some kick guy. I don't know who they are, right? Personally, I don't.
I thought it was Aiden Ross for a second, but I could be wrong.
Maybe it is, but I'm pretty sure all these guys are on Kick, which is funny because I just made us a motherfucking Kick channel. So holla.
Yeah. And by the way, what do you think? I'm gonna ask you the same thing I asked Ali, because he's been doing this apology tour and he's found Jesus. And
who? Ali?
No.
Ali? What the fuck?
I was about to say, what the fuck?
Tyreek. I'm gonna ask the same thing I asked Ali. He's found, he's been doing this apology tour, and how he's going to church more, and he's more focused. He's the same weight he is when he first got to Kansas City. So do you think it's a farce, or do you think he actually means it this time?
Means what? Are you telling me he's out there on a born again Christian tour?
Something like that. Remember he was talking about that. How
listen, and I don't mean to call the man a liar, but what I do, and I will always remain with Tyreek Hill, is that he's a motherfucking businessman, and he's kind of crazy. But you know what? All artists, and he's an artist in his own right, to his own craft, because his craft is his body and what he does with it as an athlete. But his business acumen beyond that, with the camps, with all of the marketing and stuff, he is not stupid. He's not dumb.
He's just playing the game. He's
He's
just playing
playing
the
a
game.
game. He's playing the game.
To be
Again, I always say it. There are
Mhm.
53 subcontractors working for organizations. That's what they are. They're all subcontractors, which small little contracts that really mean half the shit they're written on, and that's the facts. Go ahead, Ollie.
Look, you mentioned Shake, and I thought about this after we talked about it earlier in the show. But you mentioned like born again Christian. You know, he's trying to be like he found Jesus or something. In that, and it looked like they were in a party bus, to be honest, in that TikTok kick, whatever show, whatever
Party
Aiden
bus,
Ross,
so
whoever it
fucking
was.
90s, dude.
It,
So
it did
dumb.
look like a party bus, to be honest.
It was. but-
He mentioned something about wanting to knock Mike McDaniel out.
Well, that was where I was going at, Ali, and here's the video to prove your point.
Hey, go ahead.
But shit, I remember one game I wanted to knock out Coach McDaniel. Why? Because he wasn't throwing me the ball, bro. Damn. Wait, who was it? Yeah, like knock out our coach. I might even.
I mean, he not only did he say it, but he confirmed that that's what he said. Not only did he say it, but that's what he confirmed. That's what he said.
Yeah, so oh man. So Tyreek Hill wanted to knock Mike McDaniel out, and Ramsey is the one that's getting shipped out. Doesn't make sense.
Not only is Ramsey getting shipped out,
Tyreek after stuff like that.
Oh man.
I mean, look, that's rough, right? That's rough, and it's rough to hear that come out, and then just days later talk about how I don't deserve to be captain until I can earn it.
Yeah, it's very
two-faced. It is. It's wild behavior, but Joe, I don't give a shit. We know wide receivers are wild.
Yeah,
we know they're this way. We know that they're
At least he's not snorting a pink powder.
Yep, it could be worse, right? It could be worse.
Be worse.
He
You're
tied
right.
up with some OnlyFans model in a lawsuit or something. Oh wait, no, he's got that going on.
Hey, man, shout out to
But
Word
it
of
could-
Mouth. I haven't seen him in a while. What's up, Word of Mouth?
Well, word of mouth.
What's going on?
What I was gonna say also, to be honest though, like I know what I said earlier that I could see Tyreek possibly playing out his career here, but with comments like that, it's really hard to actually say that. But it makes complete sense on a business standpoint on why he's going through this whole rebrand anyway. With all the negative shit, he's a businessman. He knows what sells, and this is what he has to do at this point.
Well,
So
not only is Ramsey leaving here, Tyreek Hill obviously not, and there's money involved. There's guarantees the Dolphins would amount. There's no like pot of gold at the end of the rainbow after June 1st with Tyreek like there is with Ramsey. And for everybody thinking that he's going to go, Ramsey's going to get traded right at June 1st. I don't think it's going to happen that fast. It's probably going to take a couple of days because there's more than one team that's trying to find it out what kind of deal that can be worked. But there to go on to people leaving and things happening with the team, Jonnu Smith and talks with the Steelers and trade for Jonnu Smith. I seen the collective Dolphins community lose their minds on this, right? And what are they chiming at the mountaintops? Just pay the man. He was the most important thing in the world last year. Well, I'm going to give you a couple things. Number one, Jonnu Smith's a good tight end. Is he going to have the career year that he did last year again? I would say the likelihood of that is no, for a multitude of reasons. Maybe not so much in his ability, but the fact that teams are going to key the fuck up on that, are they not? That's number one. Number two, how old is Jonnu Smith? Isn't he 31 years old?
He's
Pretty sure he's 31. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Don't quote me on it. Let's see. Jonnu Smith, age 29 years old. All right, sorry. So he'll be 30 coming up. Is it wise to be extending contracts with 30-year-old tight ends in the NFL?
Nope.
Why? Because the fans want to repay him for services already rendered. Because if we're in the business of building a football team and a franchise, I'm not interested in paying you more for what you've already done. I'm interested in paying you for what I hope to get your worth out of. Now, when we signed him to a 2-year deal and what he's already given us and what he's going to give us this year is a great deal for us. Why am I going to be in trouble? Why do I gotta redo it? Now, I'm willing to maybe extend him at some point during the season because I don't want to live without his services for a year beyond. But let's not act like the Dolphins aren't hanging on by a damn thread with potential blow up or at least an absolute shuffle of the deck after this season. They've already begun that. Now, they could catch lightning in a bottle and maybe they feel a little differently. But right now, they're in a position to remain flexible. So I'm not saying don't pay him, but I'm also not upset with the fact that the Dolphins haven't. And also to explore potential options to trade him only further proves what the Dolphins are doing. They are changing. Paying aged veterans 30 years old is not the way in which to get out of the cap hell we find ourselves in. Not a way in which to build some kind of program. Be competitive. It's just not smart. It's not. And I could understand, right? Say Jonnu Smith's going off again for the first 9 games of this year. And we're like, you know what? Whether or not Dolphins continue to keep Tua or one of these other quarterbacks kind of show up, or they decide to go and get a rookie in 2026 draft, maybe keeping Jonnu Smith around would be a great safety blanket for whomever is, going to be around here at the quarterback position if we move off Tua. Or to the adverse of that, Tua's working out. We think we got something. We think with a couple more pieces next year, we could really make a run at like a run in the playoffs, and you want to keep him. But at this current juncture, with the fact of Tyreek Hill is going to be gone, probably not going to extend Jalen Phillips unless he wants to give us some type of hometown discount and goes off this year. Definitely getting rid of Ramsey. The question on whether Tua will be with this team beyond this season certainly up for debate. And the team could be in a complete other switcheroony currently. That's just the facts. That's it.
Johnny was crazy if he thinks that he's going to get extended and get more money.
I mean, maybe they can give him $1 million extra bucks guaranteed, right? And put it on to next year and then have some form of nice incentives that would carry over into next year if he performs really well, with a tender of having first rights on him after this year to work out a deal, in which case the Dolphins could potentially trade him or they could work something out with him. They have a right to refusal. That sounds like a real smart business decision. But as I've also been told, and Ramsey and others, it's pay me or trade me type of talk in the building. So, and that's kind of what you get. And I'm not saying Jonnu's really saying that, but that's the kind of sentiment. People want their money because the Dolphins have set a precedent with, we sign you, you come here, you do really well, we're going to give you more money. That's been the precedent. That's been what that's what everybody knows. Yeah, I'm going to sign with Miami, and if I do really good year one, I'm going to hold them hostage. I'm going to make them pay me. In which case, I would say, you do really good for me, and I have you for 1 or 2 more years under contract, and you're trying to hold me hostage. I'm going to trade your motherfucking ass up out of here, and I'm going to get some compensation. And I'm gonna let some other team deal with your bullshit. Cause I ain't
He
having
must
it.
be on something.
Now, listen, I'll tell you what. Y'all get me to a fucking AFC championship game. You show up and show out in the playoffs. All right. Then get some. But they've really set a bad precedent here where stomping your feet for more cookies gets you that. They got a spoiled thing going on. And it's a problem. What you think, Crypto?
Rich has
Hang on, Cap. I say it. Let's burn it all down. Tear it down. It's raining cats and dogs, Cap. We got tornado watches and all kinds of stuff going on.
Sorry, Crypto. I didn't hear what you said. My son's like, hey, can I ride my bike to the gas station and get iced tea? I'm like, no, motherfucker. It's almost dark. He's like, I got money. I'm like, I don't give a shit.
Get some iced tea. Let him get
Nah,
some ice
hell
cream.
no. No. Riding his bike up to the gas. It's dark. It's dusk. It's been raining off and on. Hell no.
Hey, we got tornado watches out here.
Oh, where?
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yep. My house might get blown down, man.
Blown down.
The big bad
Go
wolf
Crypto.
is huffing and puffing and blowing down my house.
Crypto's house gonna get picked up in a tornado and dropped into Oz.
Yep. It's going to be in Oz.
Yep, getting ready to go see the wizard, huh? Gonna get lost in that poppy field. I know what you're doing, Crypto. You
No,
better stop.
Crypto isn't going to see the wizard. He's going to see the Wiz.
He's gonna see the Wiz.
You're going to see
You're
the
gonna run off.
Wiz.
You're gonna run off with the chick from Wicked.
Yeah.
Yeah, you are. You trying to run off with that, Crypto? You better stop.
Yep.
She's gonna eat your heart, buddy.
You know what Rich says? Rich says if he plays well, this get us into the playoffs and a little bit further, then maybe. But right now, no.
Well, look. You know,
By
here's
the way, guys, I got footage of Stefon Diggs going to his first training camp.
You
I
said
would love
it.
to see it.
Yeah, I got
Let's
a
see
picture
the
of
footage.
Stefon Diggs going to training camp.
Oh, word up. Boats and hoes. Hell yeah. Honestly, I vibe it. Why are all three are those triplets?
Probably.
AI's tripping, dog.
Yeah, I know.
AI's tripping.
Quit smoking that poppy seed, Captain.
Yeah. Yeah. Put that shit down.
Poppy fields.
Boats and hoes.
It's ridiculous on how these players are so demanding. I mean, they're hired for a purpose, and if they're not doing what we want, get rid of them.
You know, look, I can respect the hustle to the game, right? I can respect the hustle to the game where, you know, these guys understand being the 1 in a million guy to get the shot, and then being a 1 in a million guy to get the shot and then make it stick. And then beyond that, actually having like a name and having success and being able to brand it, you have to capitalize. But it's almost like their capitalist ideological like understanding of the game is also getting in way of what we love in the game. And that's like the competitive spirit and respect and honor for the game. And, you know, we want to root for these guys and we want them to be wildly financially wealthy and successful and have everything they got. But we also want what we want. I want to watch my team win. And you might be with this team a year or 10 years, you know? And it's really going to come. Now, we do know the guys that are around for 10 years, they're usually around for the right reasons. They love the city. They love the town. They figure it out. They, money wise, and they continue to be, hopefully trying to win and do the good fight for the city and the team. But then you get guys that come in for a year or 2 years and they're on to the next thing, like a Ramsey, like ultimately what Tyreek Hill will probably end up being. It's got to find. I don't know, man. It's just weird because every one of these guys loves the game because it only takes a love for the game to get as far as they get. But I don't know.
Yeah, but the hustle is hustling us, and we're suffering for it.
Yeah, I feel like it. I feel like we're getting hustled.
So Tyreek's club night was just another adventure, huh?
Yeah, man. And I agree with Crypto. We need to bring back Devontae Parker.
Yeah, let's get this rebuild started, huh? That's a fast track to a rebuild. We'll be picking number 1.
Oh, we get Devontae Parker. We got the Bills killer right there, man. Buffalo killer.
I'm pretty sure
they
last
only
time
be
we
useful
won
for one game.
I'm pretty sure the last time we beat Buffalo, he was on the fucking team.
Yeah, he probably was. Yeah. Damn.
Yeah.
Damn
is right. It's hard out here in these streets.
It's hard in the streets, man.
Man, dude, Eichenberg is just getting torched on the timeline the last 3 days.
Listen, I know.
Wait a minute. Didn't he get the orange jersey?
Not yet.
He did.
But what's funny is who's that guy? Damn it, Chris Perkins, right? He was on the All Dolphin podcast, and he was like, he goes, we're not allowed to say what position people played. He goes, I just want to say one thing. He played one position all day, and he messed up the snap. I'm not saying what position he played, but he played one position, and he fumbled the snap. So he's been playing. I should lead you to believe that he's playing center right now. They have him playing, not playing guard, but they have him at center because I don't think. Because our starting center isn't at training camp right now.
And why is that? Why isn't our starting center there? Is he demanding more money too?
No, because it's voluntary. So.
Well, and he's voluntarily letting somebody potentially take his motherfucking job.
It ain't going to be Eichenberg.
I don't know. Personally, I think Eichenberg should have always been a center. I think that's his best. He plays the best there. He gets to snap the ball and get the jump on where he needs to be. It's the least likely liability with him. And I feel like he does better in the run blocking from that point as the guy who can chip block and then get to the second level because he does have that ability. I think it's whenever he does leave the Dolphins and some team makes him a center, we're all going to go, oh, look at that. And he's going to be rated one of the best centers in the division or some bullshit. We're going to be like, oh, fuck. Why didn't we put Eichenberg at center? I'll be like, because they're fucking dumb. Same thing with Dieter. I had that same take with Dieter before I had the program. I was like, this guy's a fucking center. He ain't strong enough and fat and got a good enough anchor. But what he can do is he has good enough feet to get to the second level, and he's good at opening the door in the run game. Yeah, I don't want him going in against a zero tech, but typically you have, if it's a zero tech, you got a fucking guy helping you on whatever side you want to be your strong side. So, I don't know. What do I know? Nobody listens.
Yeah.
Nobody's listening.
We got somebody else lurking in the back.
Uh-oh. It's the boogeyman of the streets, the digital streets.
Hey, what's up, Color?
What's up, guys? Are you saying I'm making my kick debut tonight, right here, right now?
No, Kick's not on yet. I just kind of made it, but yeah, soon.
StreamYard told me on the way in we could stream to Kick now, and I heard what you
Yep.
said earlier.
Where do you watch Kick at anyway?
On Kick,
I don't know what that is.
all the kids are using Kick. You need to get with the program, bro.
Oh yeah.
Kick's
Yeah, well,
the new.
I'm pretty sure Kick is using the kids too.
Whoa. Did he?
I don't know. I mean, these social networks, man, they ain't.
Color's got a point. That that's
they ain't too respectable most of the time.
Yeah.
So what is Kick though? Is it like a sports channel? Is it?
No, it's like a fucking like Twitch. It's like, YouTube. That's what it is.
Right.
It's like Twitch. It's like YouTube. It's just another one. It's real big. They
Why does everybody leave out Rumble, man? What's wrong?
What's their specialty? Is it like videos?
A lot of video game stuff and live streaming is really their thing.
Oh, okay.
And it's a lot of kids
like Discord,
kind of like that, but a little bit more interactive. And it's like if you took Discord and TikTok and stuck it together, kind of.
Oh God, this sounds terrible.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Millions of eyes, man, and ears.
That's it. It's it'll be the next one.
Agile. You got to adapt.
Yeah, it's actually getting good traction, man. And there's a lot of like prominence on Kick now.
Well, they did it smart. They went and took all the people who were pissed off at Twitch, who were pissed off at
Rumble did the same thing, and Rumble basically just licensed them all. So you pretty much you either have a dive channel or you have a contract with them, one or the other. There's no in between. Like
Kick has a lot of. They give contracts.
It's in the group chat, but it's in the group chat.
So what's it? Is it like any censorship, or is it like anything goes?
I mean, as far as I could tell, it's anything goes, right? I mean, I don't think it's showing like,
at least for now.
Like,
legally, from in a legal paradigm, they're all trying to outdo YouTube in that regard, Joe. So yeah, it's a little more like what Americans are used to with their rights being intact.
That's interesting. Yeah. I can't keep up with a lot of the social medias and apps and stuff.
I mean, to each his own. I mean, if there's non-Americans out there that love, operating an environment where they have no rights, by all means.
What was the one that came out? The social media, it was Threads or something like that. Like I never even looked into it.
Never even heard of it. Must have. If it's not catching traction, I ain't. You gotta wait. Sometimes you get on these things and
there was
fizzle out before they. Vines went huge, and then I forget what bought it and discontinued it. I want to say it was Facebook bought them and got rid of it and like took all their proprietary shit. And
Facebook bought Instagram at one point.
They did. They still own it.
Yeah. Did anyone buy TikTok, or is that its own thing?
I think a company's buying TikTok, like they're forced to sell it because they're it's stealing.
Well, they're forced to sell it because they have to divest from Chinese ownership.
Well, it's not just that, but it's stealing. They say it's stealing data, but is it really like it's just taking?
Oh, again, they don't care about these companies stealing our data. They care about foreign-owned companies stealing our data.
Well, because they want to like okay, India gets all of our data all the time, but that's because the companies that get our data sell it to them. And that's the difference. They don't.
In the Chinese case, the theory is that they can know by collecting our data, they can know how to target us and manipulate us.
It's called meta.
The way we think politically. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, if they don't really understand.
That's been going on since 2016.
I know it's been going on, but I'm saying that's what the concern is.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna let everybody in on a real big secret. If China thinks they can manipulate the Americans into whatever. They don't really know what Americans are, because the second we think you're manipulating us in some way, even if it's for our own good, we won't do it.
It
You
also
could
allows them to
manipulate me.
compromise people.
You can manipulate me into good health and the right life choices, but because I think you're manipulating me, I'm going to do everything against those things.
Right, but
out
again,
of sheer American will.
Through the data also allows them to compromise certain people through blackmail. You know what I mean? So there's
Good
that
luck.
too.
I got zero shame. So
Yeah, but you're not the type of person they'd be targeting to blackmail.
well, if you're stupid enough to be somebody that has something and you can get blackmail on you, you're a fucking idiot.
I mean, yeah, but from the government standpoint, it's people that may know government secrets that can be blackmailed.
Yeah,
I gotta be honest. If these fucking government
high-level
secret
officials,
wars, if these government
They're
secret
like
wars,
no, it might not even in crypto high level clearance, but not necessarily high profile. So it could be some yahoo that has access to this certain system and certain information, and
Color,
now
do you realize what you're saying?
they've got text transcripts of him having a
you're technically
personal
saying
conversation with
our government
that his wife don't want to know about. You know what I mean?
If you're someone who is allowing blackmail because of the whatever bad things you're doing to be blackmailed against you, what you're essentially saying is the government wants to protect them by not allowing other governments to blackmail them, rather than
they want to protect us
and oust them.
No, they want to protect us because that person that they have dirt on might be able to provide them government secrets in order to not get the dirt out.
Yeah, I get that part.
Right,
Color.
right. So that protects
government
us.
Secret knower has been blackmailed by somebody, and our government wants to prevent that from happening.
Right.
I would say prevent it from happening by getting rid of government blackmailed.
But you know that's not going to happen though.
Well, then I
because
don't
we're
know.
humans.
No, that's the whole vetting process.
I don't know what the fuck.
Yeah, but even then, crypto, we're humans. Remember,
well,
recently they found that one dude that was sleeping with the Chinese spy. Remember that?
What the fuck's this?
Yeah.
Read the cat. Can you read it?
Yeah, it says Mike Vrabel. Quit texting me about Diggs. I asked Stefon when we signed for him to show me he's still wide receiver number 1. Passing out pink rocks to big booty bitches on open seas shows me he's still got a lot in the tank. Word.
Damn.
Word.
There you go.
I like that.
That's Vrabel for you.
That ain't real crypto. Jesus Christ.
And again, Cap, they don't
It's
give a
not
shit.
real. It's not fucking real.
And Cap, they don't give a shit.
It don't have
if
to
we
be
find
real,
out
but
about
that's
the
a
dude's
Vrabel
business.
statement.
So they're not trying to protect the dude's privacy because they don't care if we find out about his indiscretion. It's that they don't want a foreign government to find out about his indiscretion to use against him. So don't mistake what I'm saying. I'm not saying they're looking out for us and our privacy. They're just looking out for the security of the country by not letting China invade our privacy.
Or any foreign state actor.
Right. Well, in TikTok's case, we were speaking of them, so it just happens to be China in this particular instance. So TikTok can exist if they want to. They just have to sell themselves to an American.
Well, at least 51% group interest being American.
Right.
That could be a way around it.
They should give it to me.
Which is funny because that same American company could still sell the same damn thing to the Chinese.
Crypto,
Right,
if the
because they're a
Chinese
private
really were
company.
about giving away things and for the people and believe in what their cause is, and they really wanted to make the United States upset, they should give it to me. United States big wigs and companies don't get it. Someone who don't know how to fucking run it is going to end up with it. And, I'm just a regular motherfucker. That's what they should do. They should let me have it.
Well, there you go.
That would be a slick move by them. TikTok
Buy
would
it
just
and
be
give it away.
TikTok will end up just being the Finn's tailgate.
Yeah.
Well, apparently all these people, and I think Joe Ritz could appreciate this.
Shout out to my man
crypto too.
CB83. What's going on, CB?
But apparently all these people that visit hostels in Eastern Europe, if you know what I mean. Apparently, all these people like wheel and deal and trade us on some kind of identity exchange that the Chinese operate, and we all have a certain value from the moment we're born.
Kelly, thankfully, I've never stayed in a hostel, so I can't speak to that.
No, but you've been in the environment where you know a hostel like depicted in that movie could possibly exist.
Hostels are very stereotypical from what I have found. Like the people that stay there that I meet, they're all like the type that are going to get up in the middle of the night, start playing the guitar and shit.
Hell yeah.
Or sell you to a bunch of rich people.
No.
They can do what they want with.
They feel like hippie vibes.
Nah. Yeah. My mom and dad stayed in a hostel when they were touring Europe for like 2 different nights, and they said it was fine.
Yeah, there's one in Colorado too. We stayed at. It was pretty cool. It's all wood frame, wood everything.
Yeah. People just trying to not ruin the hostel because
a hostel.
Nah, fuck hostels, man. I gotta have my own bathroom, especially when I'm visiting another country.
That's another word. It's actually pronounced hostel. Of course, coming from the word host and guest, which came from the same root word, as I always tell you guys, which is also where the word sport came from.
So a hostel is like a hotel, but you have to share a bathroom.
Yeah, hotel would be the same thing. Shake hotel is like newer. Hotel is just an evolution of the word in the human mouth by English people. You know what I mean? Hotel and hostel are the same thing.
You got like bunk
in South Beach. In South Beach, there's a lot of hostels in South Beach. I stayed in one.
Yeah, you might get your own like little room that you share.
Right.
A lot of them have like shared rooms as well, where it's like bunk beds.
I guess you could say it's an older version of a B&B, an Airbnb. You know,
it's like camping inside.
Yeah. So I just got.
But ultimately, before the big hotels existed, that was a hotel. So they're basically the same word. They're providing the same function.
All you gotta do is get up like at 6 a.m. to take your shower. You'll be fine because nobody gets up that early, especially in South Beach.
That's when they're going to sleep.
Exactly, Shake.
And I believe motel is a completely American fabricated word that just means like micro hotel.
It's motor
hotel. Yeah.
The best version for motel versus hotel is hotel. You got to walk through a lobby. To motel, it's you know what I'm saying. It's
right.
It's a window. Outside, you know what I'm saying.
It's outside. You
got the owner's room.
No cap. I'm a motel guy.
Motel 6.
I mean, listen, ain't nothing like a fucking
Lantana Road 95. Is that the one?
Nothing like a cheap garbage motel in a bad part of town to really have a good fucking time.
Cap,
boys.
we'll make sure we leave the light on for you, Cap.
Hell yeah!
you know, Cap. I think they finally tore that Motel 6 down.
We're gonna leave the light on for you.
That is so
cool.
Motel 6
is gone.
Hey, by the way, I remember when I went for my honeymoon to Albuquerque, right? My wife got a motel, right? I looked at it, I'm like,
stayed in meth capital America and shit. Go ahead.
It was like it looked like it was in a bad neighborhood. I'm like, no, we ain't staying in this shit. Hell no.
I know. At least if you're gonna stay in a motel, make sure it's downtown somewhere.
If it's just me renting a room, I don't feel at home unless there's chop lines on every flat surface in the fucking
crypto. Now you're you're rounding about to why I was saying that, about the hostel in Eastern Europe. There's nobody for miles, crypto. There ain't nobody for miles, man. They could do anything they want to you, bro.
Right.
Nah, fuck
just
you.
Out there in the sticks.
Not me.
And the nearest town doesn't even have police, bro. It's not even you're 100 miles from the nearest
even a
village,
sheriff.
and the nearest village don't even have police.
Color. They don't allow guns over there. What the fuck they gonna do?
They just don't have the people,
Well,
Cap.
they-
Like if
well,
you go
them
into parts of
Australians-
Germany,
I mean-
dude, there's just places where there's just not enough people to
Their
have a
cops
police.
roll up in a car that goes ee-ah, ee-ah, ee-ah,
Right,
and then they
yeah.
fucking pull a
It's a
fucking
Yugo.
stick
It's a
out
Yugo
on you.
or a
They pull a
Volkswagen.
fucking stick out on me and then tell me what. Like, get
Yeah.
the fuck out of here, dude.
But the difference, though, I tell you though, Cap, they don't have no weapons and they drive those puny little cars and all that. But I bet you, commando-wise, they would handle themselves far better than our average police, dude.
Color, no, they fucking wouldn't. Are you kidding me? Are you fucking kidding
Well,
me?
every
Color?
one of them have to serve in the military.
Color,
Like
I
it's
could take
by law.
I could take like 5 dudes from like, I don't know, fucking Philly, and the whole damn city couldn't stop those assholes.
Yeah, but every German citizen had to serve. It's not just registering for the draft. They had to serve.
You're talking? Oh, in Germany?
Yeah.
I was just talking about Europe as whole. And you know what? I don't,
Yeah, I know
Color,
Switzerland has that.
Color, and no,
After
Austria,
18, you
no
have to
shade
go into
on
one
the
year
Germans as
Austria,
a
too.
culture, because I've got
Yeah,
Germans married into
1
my
year minimum
family,
service.
but Germany has lost their nuts a long time ago.
I know, bro. I
They
know.
lost their nuts a long.
And I'm
fucking
allowed
time.
to say it because I'm German. I was born there. I could say whatever I want about my people. Yeah, they
I mean,
lost.
listen-
Y'all have lost your nuts.
They lost
Sorry.
their nuts a long time ago, and they're like debaucherous in a real hedonistic type of way that is embarrassing to say the fucking least.
Yeah, it's almost Frankish, isn't it?
It's fucking worse than that, Color, because they're like the BDSM brony capital of the fucking world, bro. Like they
No
got a
offense to
whole
my former brothers, the German Franks.
yeah. Well, they're
Now known
they're
as French.
fucking. They're
Is
they're
it the Frank
frankly
burgers?
fucking doing some weird German shit, Color. To be honest with you,
Hey,
All
just
I know
because
is-
y'all butchered the Latin language and called yourself French, don't mean you ain't Germans.
Color. I don't care.
El Capitan, back in the late 90s, early 2000s, all I know is those Germans knew how to manufacture some good X.
That ain't no fucking lie. Them boys were dropping fucking rollerblade skates all up and down the fucking place, and shit was fire.
See, France's dark little secret, even they used to worship Odin.
Well, they were fucking taken over. Their
Yeah.
king. All of their fucking French royal blood is.
No, but
Nordic.
they've like to convince the whole world that they used to be the Roman pantheon. No.
You know
They
who,
all
you know who
worship
carries the
same
Roman?
Norse
You know
gods
who
as
carries the Roman
Saxons
Catholic
and the
pantheon?
Vikings and everybody else.
Who carries the Roman Catholic pantheon is the Spanish. Spain carries that torch. That's the facts.
Yeah, I got a question for the panel.
So,
I don't know if anybody's been to Japan, but do they have something called a sleeping capsule?
oh fuck yeah, they got tons of that shit.
A what?
They've got
It's like-
hotels where they're just
what
capsules,
he
and you can
just said,
stay in
Oh
it
yeah,
for like
chateau.
Yeah,
They
Japan
call that
is all over
chateau.
there. Yeah.
yeah, and you can stay in it for like $25.
Chateau de la Bua. Chateau
Yep.
du Maquet.
Man,
It's like maybe a 20 square meter freaking space.
Chateau
Like a
du
cubicle. It's like a cubicle.
oh, okay, gotcha. Okay.
No, they have it like a wall with holes cut out of them that you climb inside and close it behind you, and
Yeah,
it's
there's no
like a
floor.
bed.
Yeah, that's it. Right.
It's like a bed. That's it.
Does
It's
the
like a
syphilis
freaking.
come with it?
Yeah. They got enough room for the
No,
small
they're-
screen TVs in there too.
Apparently, they're extremely sterilized because they just
Yeah.
remove everything that's in it, sterilize it, and put fresh stuff in it every time because it's tiny. I mean, it's literally the size of a coffin.
They're very respectful there too, so you don't have to deal with
Yeah.
like noisy people.
Yeah, they're gonna be quiet, and they ain't gonna let you be a noisy fuck either.
Right.
So they basically have converted the dungeon cells.
No, they do it
To a
for like they do it for people like traveling and shit.
Yeah, like layovers.
They ain't got no
layovers,
hostels, but they got a
business
motherfucking cheap ass capsule for you.
You've
Yeah.
ever been in those
They
airports?
decked them out. Some of them they got a lot of multi-purpose stuff there. Everything serves at least a dual purpose there because they short on space.
Well, you have to. That's all right. You're short on fucking
Chateau
space.
du Wear
No,
Raincoat.
you know what I don't understand is I know they have the technology now. I know because they're in the Pacific there, it's deep as shit right off the island. But I know they have the technology to like do underground demolition and create more land. They've done it for I don't know.
Bro, did you
for
know we
years now.
turned an entire island into a battleship, dude?
So you wake
In
up.
World War II? We raised an island, stripped it bare of all its trees, and built a 36-foot thick concrete bunker with turrets and cannons.
But we just left it like an island, like
well, no, what happened
did
was
it move around?
The Japanese laid siege to it, and finally they took it, right? So we pumped this mixture of fuel into the island because it was all, a big concrete bunker, and then ignited it, killed 65 Japanese, blew the whole thing to smithereens on the inside. All that's left now is a big rock of concrete in the middle of the ocean.
Well, again, right? Like,
on top of it.
I know they have the technology to create islands. Japan's running out of room, and they certainly ain't running out of fucking money.
Right.
Why the fuck they?
That's why they build skyward. They go up.
I get that, but they
there.
don't have to. They could literally raise the ground in the water in the ocean around them to create more land. Why aren't they doing that?
Yeah, I mean,
Well, you
heard that the palm tree shaped islands over in. Well, I was going to say but those palm tree shaped islands and all that are starting to sink, from what I understand.
Yeah, well, guess what? You got money to continue to fucking. You got money to continue to fix it.
Probably should have started like we did and poured a big slab of 36-foot thick concrete first.
Well, if they're so fucking smart, why aren't they building an underwater city?
But Crypto, you right, because man, when you talk about building straight, building up, they build up. I mean, man, they go to the extreme and come down the buildings.
Yeah, and it's crazy because they're in like the ring of fire, where it's earthquakes all the time. They got the best engineers.
They literally get the most extreme weather in the entire world. They'll get.
I still don't believe they're jumping McLarens from building to building over there.
Typhoons. They'll get earthquakes, and they get the worst blizzards in the world there.
Where's that?
Japan. They get the worst blizzards.
Such a little island. Sure, yeah, they get everything.
Well, what it is because they're close to land, and the way in which the northern weather comes down, it creates these ice storms that then make landfall with that. It's like the only place in the world.
It has something to do with that big ass tall mountain they got.
They'll get feet. They'll get like
Mount Fuji plays this role in the
it's crazy.
The weather systems that come through.
And did you leave out? You didn't leave out volcanoes, did you?
No, that was my first. It was volcanoes, earthquakes,
and all earthquakes caused thereof.
Yeah.
But
there's a submerged. Fuji is the only one above the water.
They also get tornadoes over there too.
Oh yeah, everybody gets tornadoes.
Yeah, you get tornadoes.
Yeah, but Mount Fuji is a volcano. It just hadn't blown its top.
It's called Mount Fuji.
Cone-shaped mountains are volcanoes usually.
Yeah, when that one goes off, it's gonna be big.
No, the one that's big is Yellowstone.
That's gonna be the massive one.
Yeah,
that's
that thing's so big you can't even see it.
Right. Yeah, because they call it a super volcano.
That's a super volcano.
Did you know that the whole canyon in that whole area, like you wonder where the top of where its caldera is, like the whole Yellowstone Park is pretty much its caldera. That's called a Yellowstone caldera. It's the whole region is one big huge valley, and that's the freaking crater to the volcano.
Yeah. I don't want to be around when that
pretty
goes
much the entire northwestern portion of Wyoming, pretty much.
I'm not trying to stick around for that because that's gonna be a big mess.
Yeah. The peak is the thing is so big you don't even know you're on the top of it.
Yep. They said that one was supposed to sever the whole country in half into two freaking places.
And like you'll be rolling down the road, and they've got their the designated tourist attractions of the geysers and hot spots that they know about, the major ones, right? but there's always new ones developing everywhere in the whole park. So before they can, do something about stuff, if it happens, they just got, it's like a pothole in the road over here. Like you'll be driving along the road and they'll have Bob's barricades around this new steam pot blasting steam out just right off the side of the road.
Yeah.
Like, damn, man. You could be standing anywhere at any time and have a steam pot is newly formed right under you, like in Princess Bride.
So did y'all know? I don't know if you guys been watching Quinn Ewers, but he's been on like a profit off of NFL quarterback. Son of a bitch is taking any fucking money deals he can get. But did you know he has his own beef jerky company? He's got a beef jerky brand.
I'm not
beef
surprised
jerky.
he's a hunter, isn't he?
I guess. I don't know. He
They'd
has a
say he's
beef
a hunter.
jerky
That's
called
just what he does.
QB1 jerky. No shit.
Okay.
Damn.
Yeah.
He's a prognosticator. He's telling us he's going to be there about
my
week
man's
7.
out here getting bread. I mean, he's over in San Antonio and back home and stuff, and he's taking deals with Del Taco. He's taking deals with barbecue joints.
I
He's
love
taking
Del Taco.
deals.
That's some good stuff.
I mean, hey, listen, as long as you ain't on a boat passing out powder to fucking strippers, then get it how you live, I guess.
Hell yeah.
Living the life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is that called a Diggsy party?
I hope not. I hope not. Because Dixie party sounds like a double entendre. Doesn't it, Kurt, though? Sounds like the good old boys are getting into some good old boy mess. I ain't about it.
Right.
Y'all seen the videos of Jalen Phillips? Jalen Phillips, like he's ready to go week fucking 1, boys. This
Again?
guy's, yeah.
He's
I mean,
ready
I
for
don't
his
get
20
it. The son of a
20 sack
bitch.
season, Cap.
Son of a bitch will get injured, but damn if he can't heal fast. I guess with as much PT and fucking recovery shit that he's had to do, he's gotten really good at it. But hey, whatever. Holler.
Yeah.
Anybody else starting to feel like this is that baseball team from that one movie, that one comedy,
Major League?
Yeah.
The Indians?
I thought you were going to say Angels in the outfield or something.
Oh, God, I wish we got Angels in the outfield. Maybe we'd win the pennant.
Or even Moneyball before Billy Bean reworked them.
Man. Dixie Boys and Moneyball. Man, I don't really like this conversation anymore.
What's up, Fred?
Fred.
Yeah, Fred, what the fuck you doing?
Damn, what's up, Fred?
You all right, Fred?
Fred's been kidnapped.
Fred. Come on now, Fred.
Oh, Fred.
Got to.
Oh, Fred.
Yeah.
Fred was the name of the marshal in Tombstone.
Oh,
I gotta
man,
go back
Fred's
and watch
a
that
marshal.
movie. It's been a while since I've seen that.
Since
Shirley
you seen
Bill's
Tombstone?
Like, come on now, Fred.
Yeah, it's been
Gotta be like, come on now, Fred. He didn't
love that
realize what
movie.
he'd done.
Love that movie, Tombstone.
Yeah.
You tell him I'm coming, and hell's coming with me.
Yeah.
All right, Shake, I gotta run. I gotta go fucking handle this
All right,
shit
man.
inside. I'll see you boys.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
All right, Cap.
Easy, man.
All right.
Later, boys.
So let's talk about Fred is here to talk about how he's optimistic about how Tua is gonna win us the Super Bowl. Go ahead, Fred.
Yeah. Shoot.
Damn.
That's his quarterback.
Shakes. Fred even has to his jersey. Man, he ready to go.
We have an Eichenberg.
Yeah. Yes, we do.
He's about to win another jersey.
4-time recipient, baby. 4-time. Actually, he's gonna be like, he's gonna be like, remember Booker T? 5-time. 5-time. 5-time.
5-time, right? Yeah, Booker T, boy. He was really going with that one, boy. He was running with that one.
Yeah,
That shit was funny.
time.
I'll never forget one of the funniest scenes was when he was with Remember RVD?
Rob Van Dam.
Yeah, he goes, "Hey man, you're talking to the
Yeah.
5-time champion, right?" RVD goes, "Damn, you lost it that many times?"
Right. Right. That's the flip side of it, you know.
Yeah.
You had to lost it at least 4, but yeah. But 5 times, yeah, you're no longer champion.
If you're not the current champion, yeah.
Yeah.
Booker T doing the spinner Rooney. Yeah,
Damn.
And then when he became, I think, a king, it's like his personality changed a little bit. He got a little more, what's the word, stuck up. Yeah, Booker T.
Man, but anyway, listen. Tomorrow, our insomnia is gonna be first of the month. I'm gonna be. I found the episodes. We're gonna be watching the episodes. I'm gonna be watching the episodes, and I'm gonna come up with our predictions from first to worst. And we got some topics that we could talk about for insomnia. You know what I mean?
We can do first to worst.
So
the upcoming season too.
Anyway, listen, I'm gonna call it a night. Hope y'all, unless you want to keep it going, Color, I'm gonna call it a night.
I've got work to do. I would love to.
Yeah, for sure, man. So anyway, I appreciate y'all for coming through, man.
Yeah,
my
man.
Kosa, as always, Raphael Courtwright, Elwood. Appreciate you, man. Joe Rist, of course, Michael K, Nightmare, CBA 3. Everybody, my man Scott Jackson, can't forget y'all, man. Appreciate y'all for coming through and showing us some love. Like we've been doing this for a while, and appreciate everybody who comes on Fridays and kicks it with us. So as always, man, fins up, and let's hope by this time next week. Let's hope by this time next week we have no more players that want to be traded. So
that'll be Michael K. That was for you, Michael K. Don't stick the fork in the socket. It has it has some electricity coming out of there.
So peace out, y'all.